So recently I've been watching a lot of street photography videos, and I'm trying to figure out the best setup for the BTS camera, whether the GoPro's better on the head mount or the chest mount. So I just want to do a quick little comparison about the pros and cons of each. So let's start things off with the chest mount. So the chest mount's going to give you that typical point of view shot that most street photographers on YouTube have. It's also going to be a more stable shot, so when you're walking around taking photos, the camera's not going to be flying all over the place like the head mount is. But we'll get there in a second. The other benefit of the chest mount is that you're going to be able to see a better point of view of the camera taking the photo in the BTS footage, especially when you're shooting from the hip. So part of the problem with the chest mount is that if the harness isn't on correctly, your footage is going to come out kind of tilted and off-center, and it's going to be harder to watch. Not to mention, if you wear a flannel like I do, then your shirt can kind of get in the way and mess things up. The other issue with the chest mount is that if you shoot from the hip like I do and you turn around to get a shot that you've missed, you're going to lose your point of view frame. As I said earlier, the chest mount's going to give you that typical point of view shot that most street photographers use. However, the head mount's going to give you a wider point of view with consistent center framing. Now the problem with having the GoPro strapped to your head is that it draws a lot more attention, it's harder to get the point of view shot when you're shooting from the hip, and let's just face it, it's heavy as fuck. Not to mention, your footage is going to be affected by wherever you're looking. So personally, I prefer using the chest mount when I'm out taking street photography photos, but I'd also like to test the GoPro against the Insta360 cameras and see how they compare. Now, I have a feeling that the Go 2 is going to be a little easier to work with than the GoPro for street photography, so I'm going to compare them in a later video. Until next time, peace. Thanks fucking